So many of us are in business, but we have a lot of time wasters, okay? Or we waste a lot of our own time. Instead of making it so quickly, we actually end up wasting the time. And this starts to kill the business, or to kill even the idea that we had and what we were actually meant to do. So I just want us to go through 5 things. 5 things that are actually not breaking you, they're not helping you break even. They are wasting your time, and they're killing your business, and they're killing your morale, and they're killing how fast you go ahead in life. And when I talk about these time wasters, actually, sometimes it feels like you are, have you ever, for those of you that are drivers or have driven, have you ever driven a car with a hand, with a handbrake? You just forget. You get it? You just forget. How does it move? It feels like the tires are held together, and there are some cars that will even start like, please, just take away the handbrake, okay? We are no longer, we are in motion right now, and we are supposed to go now. So many of us are in motion. We have started the motion. We have started to go. However, we get to a place and put in the handbrake, and we forget that we put in the handbrake, and we're stepping on the gas. And we want the car to go, but it is not going. Why? Because certain things are holding us in one place, and so we are stuck, so to say. And sometimes it feels, have you ever done something and you feel like you're carrying a heavy luggage or boulder, and you're dragging it, and it is not just moving, okay? Some of us are getting into business, but it feels like we are carrying things with us, and they're weighing on us. It could be people, it could be what, but they are weighing us down, and so we cannot make any forward movement. So I need us to be able to be incredible business people. But number 2, I need us to check our daily habits, because sometimes it's not just about the business. It's the daily habits and the decisions that we make that get us stuck, okay? And then number 1, I want us to be able to talk about the stallers. A staller. Have you ever seen someone stalling? Someone, they are meant to do something, but they will not do it. They are stalling. Do you understand stalling? Stalling is, I mean, you have done that at some point. You know you're supposed to make a decision, but you're just not making the decision. You're there. You think the decision will make itself. Or you're like, I mean, we will figure this out. But the decision is not going to make itself. You are supposed to make the decision. It's like, you know, I want to start a business, and then, you have all these dreams, and then, but you never get to the doing. You are stalling. You are stalling. Okay? Have you ever seen people, I don't know, for those of you that drive, there is this thing that really annoys me. Like, you go somewhere, you're supposed to park, and they have limited parking slot, and there is someone who had actually put on the ignition, and they were getting out of the parking, but immediately they see you looking for parking, they don't get out. Have you seen that? Does it annoy you? My goodness, I even start slamming the steering wheel. I'm like, and then you start driving in circles. You're waiting for this person to go, but they are stepping on the brake, and they're showing you all the red lights are on. They are not doing anything. They are looking like this. And sometimes it's because they know you're looking for parking. So they are stalling. And you will ask, why are they stalling? They even have no reason for stalling, because it's not their parking in the first place, okay? So now, there are so many people that drag their feet. Now, whether you are the one stalling or you are working with someone who is a staller, that person is slowing you down. I've had so many spouses say, for example, someone comes with a business idea, shares it, and it sounds lucrative. It sounds like they should make a decision on it, and the other spouse says, tujakulaba. Tujakolachi? Tujakulaba. And then, tujakulaba. Because you know them, how many, I don't know, I will not ask because I don't want you to give yourself out. But there are some of us that know that tujakulaba means no. That tujakulaba means they will never come back to that conversation again. That is the end of it. Now, if you're not the kind who is assertive and who can be a lone ranger, because a time has to come when you can make certain decisions. And you're like, you know what? This home needs to be a 2-income home, and I'm not going to stand here and watch. Because if we lose this one income, we are dead. So I am going to make a decision. Now, whether you are the stoller, because again, you also have found yourself in certain situations of tujakulaba. Sometimes you don't say it, but in your head, you're like, we will revisit. We'll come back to that conversation. And you never go back to it. Some of us, we run from our truth, even when it is ourselves telling us the truth. You know, you get it? As in, we always have something to say, to joke about, jokingly, but you have already made up your mind without knowing that you don't want to revisit that. So that is stealing a lot of your time. Because one thing about business that I will tell you, the secret about business, is you being able to utilize your time so well. Because time is money, and not just money, but time is so expensive that once you lose it, you cannot regain it. Last week is gone. Will you have it back? No. The past minute has gone. Will you get it back? You can't. So if anyone is wasting your time, it's like you telling someone that, you know what, I love you and I want to marry you, and then they tell you, you know what, I'm going to pray about it, and they're praying for you. What kind of prayer? Do they need God to sign anywhere, to come like a human being and sign somewhere on a paper? What are they looking for? That person has already given you a no. But they are not willing to say it. You know, there are people who are people pleasers, and then they are also nice and too sympathetic. They're like, now, how can I wrap up my no in a way that will not be annoying? And you're like, you know what, let me just stall mbakoye. And then, na kukoya. No kowa weka, no bitondo kako. And then some of us, we don't read the signs that someone is stalling. That annoys me. You should be able to read the signs that someone is stalling. They are dragging their feet. They are not moving their feet. They are not making the decision. They are not getting back to you. And you have reminded them over and over and over and over again. If that is the thing you can let go, let it go. Okay? If that is the... So decide whether you are the staller or someone is stalling. And by the way, some of us have business partners who are too slow. Even a simple decision like this, a money decision like, you know what, we need to diversify our income, we need to invest in this, and then they're like, you know what, now, will it bring in, what if the money goes? What if it never comes back? What if we lose it? What, they will ask themselves 1,000 questions, and guess what? They will even go and ask outsiders. Now, what if you were the one, what would you do? And then they will have, and let me tell you, the negative people, they are more than the positive people. So they will come back with, and they will have so many examples of everyone who has lost. You know, even this one started and things did not work out. Even this one, what if? You know, I mean, it's better we don't do things that we are not so sure about. But do you know there are people who are naturally risk takers in the world? And guess what? Sometimes they end up making more profits than everyone else. Because where there is a high risk, there is high earning. Chances are, if you don't lose it all, you will gain it all. You get it? So when you have a staller, someone who says Nike Akati, there are so many brands. People have created how many? You count them. You just go randomly on social media and count all the brands on social media. Will you even finish them? And then now you will be there. And maybe that is a friend or a fiancé or someone that you have told about your dreams. Do you know that they are dream killers and they are dream stealers? And some of them are stallers. When you tell it about to them, and then they will tell you all the random things, go and count. The market is saturated. Everyone is saying their own thing. And then you will be like, do you know what happens? That person, you stop telling them whatever. You know, you're saying information. What you tell them and what you don't tell them. Okay? And then on social media, you make sure they are not your friends. You build your brand until it is big enough, and then you go back and unblock them. And then you're like, sorry? Now you are speaking my heart. You unblock one like this, the one that you know, you know, I not that amala. And then they were like, Mama, good to like social media. Hochimanyi ina abantu abamufollowinga. Hochimanyi bamukiririza mu ne byayogera. Hochimanyi gundi yabadde ku TV. Do you know? neno byayogera birimu amagezi byayogera bikola ki birimu amagezi okimanyi ayina sente ennaku zino. But while you were telling them, because it was a young dream, someone could easily suffocate it. So protect a young dream. Protect a young vision. By all means, that is why when we plant something and we know there are animals in the vicinity, we will plant trees, we will put sticks around it to make sure that no goat can be able to eat that until the tree is big enough for it to handle. That is when you will let it be free, because you know a goat can't now start eating on that tree. But when it is a seedling, even one step on it chokes it and it kills it. So walk away from stallers, or disengage from stallers, or disconnect information from stallers. Stop feeding them with information. Okay? Number 2, let's go. There are those that I call the speed demons. Speed. There are people, in as much as we want to run as fast as we want, we must be able to lock in our direction before we engage any kind of speed. Okay? Engage, know our direction, know what we want to do, know what we are going. That means there is putting thought to what you are going to do. That means there is turning it in all angles and being calculative, not just taking a blind decision. But again, there are people, have you seen people who are too quick? Too quick. Like they go without asking, they go without information, they're flying blind, but they are going. Batero kutomera. One time I talked about a visionless life, and I said it is a life prone to accidents. If you don't have a vision, if you don't see, just imagine you have a veil on your eyes. You will not see where you're going. You're going to knock people down, or you're going to knock chairs down. So the people that are like too speedy, and this happens to children when they are growing. There is a certain age where they are like accidents every time. Like clearly speaking, abatambula banga talabye nti there is a wardrobe. Abatambula banga talabye there is a Benson. Like, and I think the Baganda call it what? Wanji? Say it. What is it called? Some of you are too polite, but they call it kusatuka. You know? They're like, I saw exactly what you were thinking. I read your mind. Because I know that while we were growing up, our mothers used to say a lot. You know, man has satu, so satu kachi. And by the way, sometimes it's sukusa, or sambalachi, or kolachi? Kusamala. And kugaba tukana. You know, they had extreme words. And you would wonder where they are getting them. Now you would clearly see it is kugaba tukana. It sounds like the real example of what I'm talking about. Like, you just don't make any calculations. Like, I have Ariel. Ariel is my middle child. Ariel can bump into anything. Like anything, until I'm like, you know what, I think I can't make the child and the whole compound child friendly, that I should buffer everything and insulate everything. I can't. You can't insulate gates, you can't insulate the whole gazebo, you can't insulate like even the pavers, because he will run and he will knock the pavers. He will run and knock the fence. And then he will run akasonda ka dining room, and you're like, nah, yeah. Can't you ever sit down and say wali waka sonda? So that's what happened to some of us. Have you ever seen people running speedily into a relationship? Yeah? How does it feel? Sorry? The speed with which they go. Tebagala kumanya, tebagala bagambako, mweyogeza n'engeri gy'omutunulamu emunyiiza. Agamba n'okumugamba sigenda mugamba nange emisinde gy'aliko. Going in the wrong direction. And then you're like, oba mulabule. Oba, especially, have you ever seen someone, ng'omumanyi, their monkey tricks and their bad manners, and someone is running for them and they are head over heels, and you're like, kubankulabule yako wange abantu bagwa mukwano baba bazibuzibu. Where love beats, love gonzas, you know. So sigenda kuyingirira bintu byammwe komaona amaziga go tujja gasangula. But the thing is, the speed yabadde yachi. So also be careful about people who do not think because they are going to steal time. Because you can't be rectifying every time. You can't be nursing wounds every time. You can't be heartbroken every time. You can't be operating in loss every time. You can't be, you know, you're coming from behind just to pick up and to mend pieces and to make sure that things are working. You're giving someone too much work, or you're giving yourself too much work. Sometimes if it is such a friend, ogambo manyi onokakomao, I will not even have kind words for them. So bwakomawo ng'akaaba ng'ogamba naye owange olulala olowoozangako. As in, because kyakuyitiriddeko. You get it? So don't be that kind of person. Do things with thought. You know? Whether it's a business venture, whether it's a relationship, whether it's anything to do with time and redeeming time in your business. Because your whole life is about your business. Okay? Make sure that you are that kind of person, because you're not going to redeem yourself all the time. Let's go to number 3. The supervisors, micromanagers, always. You know, have you ever been in a workplace where every time you're peeping, you want to know, what is he doing? What is he doing? Sometimes it can even be in a relationship, but what's in business? When you hire people, you have to be able to trust that they will be able to deliver. Because some of you are getting into the seasons of your life where you're going to hire, or whether you have already hired, or you have been hired. How do you like it if every time someone is telling you what you know that you were supposed to do, and someone is telling you, like, Jawochiri, and you're like, you know what? You brought me to work, you might as well do it yourself. Every time you turn your computer, I want to see. Now what are you working on? Who are you serving? What did you, when you called them, what did you tell them? Like, it is really, really, really tiring, and that is a thief of time. Instead of having too much time to work on other things as a leader, as a business owner, you are busy peeping to the extent of even wanting to know who is dating who and who is doing what. So as a leader, you should be able to know that when I delegate, I trust. What I do is I coach. What I do is I orient. What I do is I give tasks and I give the outcomes. And then I am able to give them time actually for them to dream. Because when you actually hire people, you're hiring brains to be able to come and add value to your business, right? So even when you're dealing with friends, you're getting friends who are going to add value to your life. So I need you to be able to watch out. That spirit of supervision and micromanaging and being in the nitty-gritties and fighting small battles and wanting to fight with everyone, know everything that is happening. What did they eat? Where do they sleep? Where do they come from to come from work? Okay? We have bigger fish to fry. We have brands to build, we have businesses to build, and we have money to make, we have lives to change, we have lives to influence. So if we are going to take on tasks that we are not supposed to take on, then they're going to waste our time, okay? And I hope I'm talking to business owners. The CEOs of this generation. Number 4, the savers and the money pinchers. Sometimes you will need to know, and I will take all of us that are here out of that bracket, because you are here because you invested in yourself. Do you know that there are people who save so much that they cannot even invest in themselves? And not just investment to get knowledge like we are getting, but they cannot even invest in a good meal. And even when you know that someone is going to help you, you are not able to invest that money for that person to help you. So you end up doing everything yourself. The time you would have saved, even in your personal life, the time you would have saved to mind your business, you're busy washing clothes. The time you would have saved, and yet there is someone else who would have relieved you of that burden. But because you don't want to invest in yourself, you're like, you know what, this money must be saved. I'm not saying go and use money anyhow, but know when to invest in yourself. Know when to get something that you really need that will take you to the next level. Sometimes you don't need to self-teach and go and research forever. Sometimes you need someone who can give you a roadmap, a simplified roadmap, and a narrowed down roadmap. For example, what I have discovered on the journey of 15 years, you can get in. You get it? That means you're getting my experience for the past 15 years. And now you can execute it and be able to get results. Why? Because I have learned the hard way so that you will not learn the hard way. And that's what investment does. That you're supposed to hire someone to do accounting for you, to do bookkeeping, because then it's going to give you a proper picture of how much money you are making and how much you can reinvest and how much, and then you're like, you know what, QuickBooks, and then you take a week minus making entries, and then you take another month, and then you're like, mama, before you, because how are you going to scale that business to grow it bigger than where you are right now if you're still in the saving? You must be able to invest in order to get returns on investment. We don't get returns on savings. Are there returns on savings? I think it's only interest. And guess what? The bank will give you cartoon interest. And guess what? They will get a huge margin of profits off that money. Because when you place it, do you think wainaka box mwagalira sentezo? That money is out there running money, like making money every microsecond, not even a minute. That money is making money every microsecond. So you are giving them money to make themselves rich, that they will give you a tiny 0.1, 0.2, point what on top of that. And I'm not saying that having money in the bank is bad, but there are people who are investing and they're actually making returns on investment. And returns on investment, sometimes it doesn't have to be the actual money. Sometimes it can be the peace of mind that I can run this business better, that I can have more knowledge, that I can choose better business, that I can do business consultancy with someone, that instead of me taking 10 months to zero down to what I want to do, I can do business consulting with someone, and in 1 week I will have figured out what I want to do. And I will be good to go, and I will even have strategy. Okay? You remember the session that we had, my dear? You remember the session that we had? If you were to have that knowledge, how long would it get to get it? Like you stumbling on and just doing things and trying and error and trying, and you'd have taken a lot more time. But you have 1 hour of strategy and you fix in as much as you can, and you go and say, you know what, let me execute and be able to see what returns, what are the positive returns, has it worked out, has it not worked out. So you go into evaluation instead of continuing on the trial and error. Okay, so we are talking about things that kill businesses. That is one of them. If you want to invest in yourself, for example, time will come, Annette, when you will invest in decor and you will bring it from China. And you will have your own. Instead of referring people to other people, you will be telling them, unless chotalina, ngobagamba chesirino osobola okukifuna ewalala. Naye byonna byoyagala mbirina. Nti oyagala bugoye. Kakati ate nze njagala bwa sky blue ng'omugamba mbulina. Mbunjagala bwa pero what? Pero white. Ogamba na bwambulina. Njagala bwa kitakataka ng'omugamba mbulina. You know, the thing is, because you have invested in yourself, that will take you dreaming big and helping people to be able to make bigger memories in their events, and one dream will grow from one to another, and you will feel the need to invest in yourself, and when you bring them, and it will make quite some money for you that even others who don't have will be coming. That means every weekend or every weekday you will have a mukolo somewhere. How much money will that be? A lot of money. And you will not even need to be employed anywhere. You will just choose to serve, not to actually say, I am held here because I need to earn. Because you will also have a workforce of your own, employing people to make sure that they do what they need to do. But if you don't invest in yourself, is there going to be a business created? There is no business. Rosalind, you buy this merchandise. You buy these products. You invest. That if you're a money pincher, you would have said, you know what, let me just look for something where I don't really need to buy, or I don't need to use money, so that I can be there. This would have taken how long? Too much time. You'd never have materialized your... Let's go to the last one. The self-medicators. Whether you are the one self-medicating or other people self-medicating, there are people that are in business, but sente bwezijja oba ne bafunako any kind of victory, they celebrate longer than they worked. And the whole weekend can be spent drinking. And guess what? Monday morning they have to cancel meetings because they have a hangover. Wanji? That is self-medication. Or they will run on rampage to go and get mamas. Or get girls, or get men, or get, as in, people have a way of celebrating the small victories. I'm not saying don't celebrate small victories. Celebrate the right way. But again, celebrate while positioning yourself for the next level. Because you need more, and you need more, and you need more. So if you're the kind who says, ha, kakati, meza bazidugaze, and then you are the boss, you're sending for everything, nebo bango dugaza by the way sukari. Sometimes self-medication can be overly taking things that are full of sugar. Do you know that demotivation comes? Have you ever been satisfied, bulunjo? Oba motivated? Wanji? Oba uliranga oli slow, oba uliranga you even lack ambition, otula nagalale. As in, you're just there, you're just yawning, you're just... Even your business brain is not working at that moment. You want to work, be on an empty stomach. Your brain will be sharp. Because we overfeed it with things that it's not supposed to have. Too much sugar, that is overloading your brain. It's not working. That's overloading your blood with sugar. That's why, I mean, people get all sorts of sicknesses. So the 5 things that we have talked about, those are stealers of time, those are killers of businesses, those are killers of ambition that we have talked about, okay? And those are killers of any form of positivity and growth in your life. So I need you to know that whenever you are celebrating, celebrate the right way you're supposed to celebrate. Be grateful about what you have gotten, but go ahead and plan, because there's a next step, there's more earning, there's more growth, there's growing bigger, you need more money, and you need more better relationships and networking. Can you be able to figure out how to position yourself, how to launch better, how to create another offer, instead of saying that, you know what, kakati weekend, you know, you're nah, kweyagala, but not okweyagala in the right way. You can take a vacation, you can rest for your business, that is acceptable. And by the way, resting is contributing to your business as well, because when you come back you can perform better. But when you rest and take alcohol, that means you're going to come back when you even don't understand where you stopped. You're the one who comes back and you're like, where were we? Because you don't remember where you stopped, okay? I hope those 5 things you really take note of them. The stoller, the speed demon, the supervisors and micromanagers, the savers, and the self-medicators. Don't be any of those things, and don't allow anyone in your life that is going to be those things, because then they are going to bring down your business and they are going to hurt you in ways that you will never be able to redeem yourself. If anyone steals your time, they are not respectful. They are not loyal, and they don't wish you well. If someone wishes you well, they will seek that every time you have is used and maximized well, so that you can be able to grow and get to the next level. Love you.